You made it sound like Fozzie Bear would
Me?
be on Mount Rushmore if you could remake it.
Oh, definitely. You know what? I've never considered who I would put up there, but I think he would go up there. Yeah.
You know what? I strongly disagree. Fozzie
Who are
Bear
you?
does
Who
not
would you put in
deserve
his place? Is there
the attention.
another Muppet that you like better?
So I tweeted out the thing. I was like, we're gonna use this GIF with that guy and Kermit the Frog, and you were just like,
Yeah, you said
Fozzie Bear?
yeah, it's like
I was
Kermit
like,
and the
that one.
Frog. It's Kermit the Frog in a car with, the other guy. And I'm like, excuse me, Kyle?
I was like, I don't know who this guy is. Who pays
Did
attention
you
to
not
him?
grow up with Muppets?
And you're sitting there like, he
You've
is up
seen them,
there
right?
in the greats with George Washington, Abe Lincoln, and Fozzie Bear.
No, just in, names a person knows. Like, when you see a face, you know his name.
That's not me. You know me. I'm terrible with names. I say this all the time on the review show.
I think this was, so... It is elementary. You know him since you were a child. It's like if you forgot Bulbasaur's name.
I know Bulbasaur. I can name him. When it does, name that Pokemon, I'm like, it's Bulbasaur, bitches. And then I get it right, and I'm just like, yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 71 of the Whatnauts Captain's Log. My name is Kyle Springer, and I am joined by Melissa Wilkinson. Melissa, how are you?
Good, Kyle. How are you this week?
It has been a good week. It has been good. It hasn't been eventful at work, so that is a good thing. But it's one of those typical weeks. Nothing great happened, but nothing bad happened. I just coasted by. It's good. Sometimes you need that, where it's not just craziness all the time. I don't know who I would put on Mount Rushmore though if I had to remake it. Like if we narrowed it down to
to a certain category.
Yeah, if you had to who of the Pokemon, if you had to make a Pokemon Mount Rushmore, who would be on there? Right? You'd have to go
Mewtwo.
with Pikachu. And yeah,
Pikachu.
Mewtwo. But then the other ones are kind of up for grabs. Like I feel like I feel like the starters are all good candidates. Like the original 3 starters. Maybe you could put Charizard.
Yes.
On there.
It depends on what medium you're talking about. I don't know if he's terribly important in any of the games, but if you're talking about the narrative of the show, you got to put my fellow Meowth up there, the number 1.
True. But then again, that's only Gen 1. So we're leaving out 8 or 9 generations worth of Pokemon here.
Yeah, we got to put in Lucario and Greninja.
He's in Smash. He must be important if he's in Smash, right?
Well, Smash is our new Mount Rushmore. This is where the modern generation, instead of carving some faces and some rocks, puts the people it truly wants to honor. Puts them in Smash.
Have you been to see Mount Rushmore?
I haven't. My dad went recently.
Okay.
He sends us a picture and it's kind of blurry. He texts us all to the family and then we all write back to him with some joke about just what a low quality picture it is. And then later he takes a much higher quality, closer
take that on your
up
Razor phone?
He takes a picture that's much closer and he says, "There, I got them to move the mountain closer to me. Are you happy now?"
Yes.
Can I tell
thank you very much.
A true piece of dad ingenuity he's come up with recently.
Uh-oh. Whoa, what is this?
They're get The kitchen got gutted at my parents' house. There was some slow leak that they weren't aware of that, like,
Mm-hmm.
blistered all of the wood, like, the floor's structural integrity was coming into question. Yeah, so I go
No
over to their
bueno.
house now, there's nothing in the kitchen, it's, like, the upper cabinets, there's no sink, there's half of a floor, it's a mess over there, so they have to redo the entirety of the kitchen, and he sprung for the granite countertops. And he's telling me in true dad fashion, it's not as expensive as I thought it would be. I think it's going to be worth the investment to get the granite countertops.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's like, I'm paying for this whole slab of granite, and I'm paying for them to custom cut this slab of granite to the proportions of our kitchen. And he says, but where do they put the sink? You got to cut a hole in the granite for the sink. So I asked the saleswoman, what do you do with that after you cut it out? Can
Uh-huh.
I have it? I'm paying for it, aren't I?
That's
And
interesting.
the woman,
There has to be like
and the
a
woman
whole
says,
warehouse full of like kitchen-sized like granite, or not kitchen-sized. I mean like sink-sized like
yes.
granite slabs.
Yeah. And she's like, I don't know. No one has ever asked us before. It might go to a remnants warehouse.
I wonder if
Maybe
you
you can
could
get it.
sell
I
them
don't know.
as
And she's
like
like, well, I'm going to look
cutting
into it and get back
boards.
to you. That's what he was saying because we're watching Food Network and we like to watch a lot of baking shows. And we're watching some contestant like make candies, like make chocolates and then set the chocolates on this like stone cutting board so that like
Sure.
the natural chill of the stone will help like cool and
Oh.
set the candies. So dad's look yeah. So dad's like, they make cutting boards like that out of granite. Really helpful for, any sweet making. And then he turns to me and he says, so you never know. So I think in his mind, he's like, I'm gonna get that sinkhole. I will give it to my daughter for her to make candies on, like we see on the Food Network.
I'm gonna get that sinkhole and give it to my daughter.
Yeah.
Great choice of words there.
And this is not about let me get Melissa a thing. I know it's all about that game of can they give me the whole? I paid for the whole. I paid for the whole slab. Give it to me. All of it.
Yep, you certainly paid for that hole, all right. Oh man, that is fantastic stuff. So did you see this thing that I put in our Discord about the all women spacewalk thing?
I I saw that you wrote it down. I didn't look at it.
I shared the tweet because it was
Where are they
from
walking to?
NASA. I don't know. They're in space, just like, hey, you want to go for a walk? Um,
It's not like any
I have no
stars or
idea.
planets we've heard of.
They were live streaming it. I don't know much about it, but yeah, they said
Impressive.
they venture into the vacuum of space to replace a failed power controller. So it sounds like they were on their way to Tashi Station. Um, but they were live streaming it, and I caught like 5 minutes of it. But it's
Mhm.
it's it's neat. They are just like out in space, just like doing
Yeah.
stuff, and it's like the typical like background noise. It's perfect for if you need like space
Oh.
sounds and stuff like that
If
of
you
just like,
need space sounds,
I mean, sure, like
no
we
rainstorm will do.
if you like to fall asleep to the soothing sounds of space, tune in now to like, so here at the Whatnauts, we have like a pseudo space theme. Like we have a rocket ship in our logo.
Hmm.
The name of this show was also based off of space stuff. It's the Captain's
Yeah.
Log. We have another show called the Reactor Core. Stuff like that. Um, and like the little like logo teaser thing that I made for our YouTube channel is this like space themed thing with static and all of that stuff. And yeah, like if that's the aesthetic that
Yeah.
you're going for, just like see if you can download the video and sample the sounds and stuff because it's perfect for that stuff. Yeah, 2 degrees
Come
to the right,
on.
Pete. It's gonna be stuff like that. It's fantastic.
Well, Google help me. I don't know if Google will help me with this.
What are you looking up?
In our local in our local science center, we have a planetarium. I've shown you a picture of the planetarium.
I think
That
so. Yeah.
big, weird, white, curved building. They put the bow on it when it's Christmas time.
Oh, okay. That's
So
that's the
there's
place that you had me when we did the Patreon exclusive episode of the Captain's Log for MASH.
no,
Is
no,
that
no, no,
not the
no. That's
planetarium you had me
no,
living
that's
in it
just a
in?
normal suburban house with an observatory tower. I'm talking
Oh,
about the official St. Louis Science Center and
observatory,
the
planetarium.
planetarium.
They're all the same to
They're
me. I'm
very
observing the
different.
planets.
So there's a walkway that goes from the planetarium to the main science center building because they built the planetarium later. You walk down this hallway and it's filled with space memorabilia. Like here's a spacesuit and here's like models of space shuttles and all of that stuff. And there's this like glass case on the wall that is all stacks and stacks and stacks of fake money and a little like 1 pint carton of chocolate milk. And it's like, this is how much money it would cost to send this 1 pint carton of chocolate milk to space.
I hope
And
it gets to
they've
go.
not updated, right? Like, I hope it saved up the allowance like it sold enough candy bars to its parents' friends. It's been
Hi,
in there
my name is
since.
Kyle. Would you like to donate to the foundation for sending me to space? Buy these candy bars for $1 each, and you can help me go to space.
Oh, that's nice. You're going to space camp. Oh, no.
I'm
Oh, no
going to
camp
space.
here. I'm a professional. I'm going to space. But this little display has been there since I was a kid, and I don't think they've ever changed it. They've never readjusted
The
for
milk is all
inflation.
spoiled
Maybe they've
and
lost the key
chunky.
that unlocks the case. But it's empty, but I have such a deep fondness for how much money it takes to send chocolate milk to the moon. Like they could have picked any household item. They could have picked regular milk and they picked chocolate milk.
I
And
wonder
it's
if
like
it's
you
more
don't even need
expensive.
that in space.
I wonder if it's more expensive to send chocolate milk versus regular milk or strawberry milk or almond milk or soy milk. What's the most expensive
Yeah,
milk to
like
send to space?
I'm gonna ask the St. Louis Science Center and I'm gonna see if they know.
You should. You should like write
I need
sticky
updates
notes and
on
just
the
stick it
cost of
on.
milk.
Yeah. Well, what about strawberry milk? Huh?
Just attach a note saying, I have questions, please get back to me.
Right.
Attach a self addressed stamped envelope.
How do you feel about strawberry milk? Because I don't like it. I ain't having none of it. You're just
Uh, I'd never thought to have strong feelings about it. I think I tried it a couple times as a kid, and I respect it as something that just gets picky kids to drink milk. And I imagine it's quite helpful in making a milkshake.
interesting. See, I wouldn't have a strawberry milkshake either. I don't like
What?
I yeah, I don't like strawberry milk or strawberry milkshakes.
Oh,
I
you're really losing some of your Jughead cred here.
look, I can have a chocolate shake, I can have a vanilla shake, I can have a cookies and cream shake, I can have a whole bunch of other flavors of shakes, but strawberry specifically, I've just been like, I don't
Strawberry
like you.
ice cream, does that do anything different
Yeah,
for you?
no. If I have the like
You're
Neapolitan ice cream that has the like chocolate and vanilla and strawberry, uh-uh. Chocolate and vanilla are my sections. Rest I don't like. No, thank you. No, thank you. Let's see, Melissa.
Yes.
Disney Plus dropped
All right.
so much information. What is
Yeah, I don't
happening?
know why you even put other things on our docket this week because I could talk about this for 45 minutes. So they put up a tweet. It is a chain tweet,
Thread.
is
Yeah.
reply after reply. Yes. Of everything that is going to be on Disney Plus. And they also put up a YouTube video featuring a short clip from everything that is over 3 hours long.
That's
I
ridiculous.
started watching it. After an hour, I only got to like 1998.
That's so strange. I swear
I
half
didn't
of
even
the
get to any Disney Channel original movies.
I
Those are
swear
yet to come.
half of the tweets that they were like, we're adding this movie, were all just fakes. Like those movies don't exist. Someone just
Smart
photoshopped them.
ass.
Yeah, like, but all right. So I was
Some of them were
listening.
really perplexing.
I was
Like, I'm
listening
familiar with
to.
Benji the dog.
Yeah.
God dang it. Like,
Did
okay, so there's Benji the dog, and like I imagine there's like other Benji movies, and I come across one that's called
Benji the
Benji
Hunted?
the Hunted.
Yes, yes.
Like, that
So
can't be real.
I was watching the Kind of Funny podcast. I'm not done with it, but this is exactly what they were talking about. All of the stuff that Disney announced this week, and they were going through their tweet and looking at the images they posted because for each announcement they have a picture to go along
Yes.
with it. And have you taken a good look at some of these? Because some of these
Yeah.
are so bad. They were like, all right, next one is Return to Oz. We are posting it in 5 minutes. We need someone on Photoshop now. And just like,
Yes.
it's so bad. The image, they spent 2 minutes in Photoshop making some of this stuff. And it's hilarious, but it's like,
Yeah, some
it's
of it must be, like,
hilariously bad.
really old production stills or whatever it as the VHS cover back in 1992.
Yeah.
Like, they're busy enough. They don't, I think they spent their time getting video clips. They're not like,
They
well,
made the
we should
interns
remake this
make
movie
these.
poster.
Yeah. Yeah, but like they're so bad. And then they went to and they watched the trailer to Benji the Hunted. And oh my god, that trailer is ridiculous. On your own time, go watch it because there is a scene in that trailer that when you see it, you'll be like, "Oh my god, what in the world?" And not in like, "Oh my god, the dog just got eaten" or something. Something happens, and it's just like, how does that even happen? That should not be possible in an all animals movie. This defies the laws of physics.
There's so many weird animal movies they have back there.
Oh my god, it's ridiculous. So they were talking about that stuff.
What are you most excited for? Did you go through any of these? Like, did you really look through all of them? I looked through at least a solid 15 to 20 years.
Okay, so I only looked at a few of them, just the ones that I saw on my Twitter dash. But I think the one I saw, I don't remember what it was called. I think it had what is his name? I think it had a young Kurt Russell and a monkey on it. And it was
Oh,
some. Let me see here. I think I may have liked it or replied to it or something, but it was one of the ones I was just like, I swear to God, they are making this stuff up. Like, this cannot exist. This has to be fake.
they did make these things up in like 1956 where there was no content. It's
Right,
like we just have
but
to put
like,
something in theaters. We have to put something on the 11-inch black and white TV. How about this kid and a monkey? Why not?
here we go. Yeah,
What will people have to compare it against?
it's a 1971 Disney film called The Barefoot Executive with a young
Oh
Kurt
yeah.
Russell and a chimpanzee. Let me see if I can get this up for people to see. It's so funny.
Yeah. Just all of these movies where like a normal adult man has to deal with an
The one
animal, like
right,
everything from Shaggy DA to Turner and Hooch.
yeah, right. The one right below it is $1 Million Duck.
Right, I saw a clip from $1 Million Duck, and I'm like, what? Like, and it's only 15 seconds long, so I'm like, I can't tell what's so special about this duck. Does the duck have $1 million?
Melissa, the biscuit eater.
Right?
The biscuit
Just
eater.
like family-friendly G-rated animal
1972.
nonsense. Like
Yeah.
movies and like so my older brother is much older than me. He was born in 77. And I know
Uh-huh.
these had to have been the movies he must have grown up on, because what else was there?
But then I
We
remember some of
escaped.
these
We
old
came out alive.
ones.
We gotta watch Goof Troop.
Like I remember the Apple Dumpling Gang. I remember Gus.
Yes,
Um
I remember. Cat from Outer Space.
there's the there's the original Freaky Friday. Herbie Goes to Monte Carlo. Why are there like 35 Herbie movies? This is ridiculous. Yeah,
People
there's so
love that
much.
innocent, chaotic bug.
Spider Woman. This is ridiculous. Half of these are
What are
fake.
you
They don't
personally
exist.
really looking forward to?
I'm
What did you come
I'm
across that you were like, oh my god, I forgot about that thing?
nothing really. I don't know. I
Nothing.
not really. I'm more excited for The Mandalorian. I'm more excited for the new season of Star Wars Clone Wars because that show is fantastic, and they're putting out a new season of that. Um, I'm excited for it to exist, to have like all of the Star Wars stuff in one spot, all of the Marvel stuff in one spot. I'm excited to see
Yeah.
what they
Yeah.
do with that because Marvel also had a big announcement this week too, that Kevin Feige was named the chief creative officer of Marvel, not just Marvel
Very
Studios,
intriguing.
of Marvel.
Heck, in all of it. He'll be in charge of, Legos and
he is the Beyonder.
the new Secret Wars.
Now, right?
It's him.
What if he is the Beyonder and there is a movie down the road that bases itself off of the comics where Spider-Man has to teach the Beyonder to poop? Because that's a real thing that happens in the comics. No, but like, I just to have all of the Marvel stuff in one spot and to see what they're gonna do with that down the road, because now it sounds like Marvel TV is now under all of Marvel Studios. It's not its own thing now. So I'm super stoked. More about I guess the original content rather than all the old stuff. That's just me.
You have no nostalgia. You have no childhood memories that have been lit back aflame.
I might go back and watch Brink because that's a great film.
My favorite DCOM was Phantom of the Megaplex.
I remember that one.
which I'm
Or
very
Johnny
excited.
Tsunami.
Good. Phantom of the Megaplex, number one favorite, far beyond any of the others. I like a mystery. I like just a bunch of youths running around a building that's too big.
This building is too big. It's the opposite of
It's a
Zoolander.
school for ants.
What is this? A school for ants?
I'm most excited. This has been like legitimately the second somebody announced Disney Plus, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get to watch So Weird again, which
Yeah,
was a show from the late 90s about a young girl whose mom was a singer and they traveled around the country on her mom's tour bus. And the
I
girl
remember that.
wrote a blog. She had a website. This might have even been before the word blog. She has a website about spooky things and the supernatural and weird paranormal mysteries.
She has a
And she
space
finds
on the net.
she's out there surfing. And she just finds a different weird mystery in every town they go to while her mom tours and performs.
Mm-hmm.
I loved that thing when I was a kid, and I don't think it was on for very long. I don't think it did well. I don't think it got any kind of a home release. When I mention it, most people don't talk it, like they don't know what I'm talking about. They haven't heard of it. Nobody remembers it. And I have needed this thing back in my life forever. Like this was really formative to me, and I have so many like half memories of it that I'm like, I need to see if that's true. Finally,
Yeah,
this is what I'm gonna get to do. Like, The Mandalorian is like priority 3,
yeah.
priority 4. After rewatching So Weird,
Gotcha.
Phantom of the Megaplex, and getting Phineas and Ferb back, which
Okay.
is legitimately one of my favorite TV shows. Like, it's not just it's fun and pretty good for a kid show. It is legitimately excellent entertainment.
Yeah,
I it is so funny. I think it's so funny and charming and cute. I really love it, and it was on Netflix for a while and then they took it off, and I just want it back because that's one of my favorite like comfort food things. Like, oh, I
yeah.
had a long day at work. I just want to watch Dr. Doofenshmirtz for an hour, and now I can do it again. This will do wonders for my mental health. And then all of those, Mandalorian's like after those. It's like
Yeah,
4.
yeah. There's so much stuff to watch though. Like if I get caught up in watching all of the back catalog of like I'm gonna go watch all the Disney Channel original movies that I
Yeah.
remember from when I was a kid, or watch one of the cartoons or stuff that I don't remember but I heard about or
Mhm.
something. I just like I'm already so behind on my other shows that it like I'm just yeah like this is just a lot. It's a lot to deal with. So I'm going to make my parents get it so that we can share it as a family and split it. And that way I
Plenty
can
on there
get
for parents.
access. Yeah, my mom will enjoy it with all the National Geographic stuff, and then all of the classic movies that I'm sure she'll be like, "Oh, I remember that one," and then like she
Yeah.
will like it or that stuff. And then there's me who's just like,
Mm-mm.
I want Star Wars, Marvel. um,
I too am gonna sponsor it for my whole family. I'm really excited
yeah,
that now my niece will have access to all of these same titles we had when we were kids that even we didn't have reliable access to. Like we could only watch Beauty and the Beast when our parents agreed to rent it for us from Blockbuster.
yeah,
She could watch any of them,
yeah.
anytime.
What a time to be alive. Speaking of streaming services, one thing that
Hmm.
I also thought was very interesting this week was that HBO got the streaming rights to all of the Studio Ghibli movies. Um, which is interesting because if I remember correctly, Miyazaki was very against having them on streaming services. So I don't know what changed or
Yes,
what
this is what I've
happened
heard.
or something, but
I
yeah. HBO now has the rights.
I listened to a really wonderful film podcast called Blank Check, where
Hmm.
they take the filmography of a director at a time. And the
Sure.
premise is, oh, this is a director that had success early in their career and kind of bought themselves a blank check to do whatever it was they wanted. This is what they wanted to do. They take these people and do it career by career. And they're doing Hayao Miyazaki right now. And they're like
Interesting.
2/3 of the way into his filmography. And they have brought up several times he does not like streaming services. Like, no amount of money could buy this from him. Anything, and like one of their theories, I don't know if this was something they were guessing at or that it was something he had actually said, but like a streaming service kind of flattens everything. Like you can access The Godfather and Deuce Bigelow, Male Gigolo in the exact same format, like the exact same way. Everything becomes the same. The greatest movies, the lowest movies, like the rarest things, the most common things, like
Hmm.
everything is the same.
Yeah.
And he's like, this would make our films feel flattened. They're supposed to feel not in that it's to be very elitist or anything, but these are special movies. We put a lot of craft into these. We didn't just throw out some content or something.
Yeah.
Like we
See,
want these to be very special, important things that a family sits down to. And you take the DVD off the shelf and you put the disc in the player and you all gather round. And it does have a little bit more eh, ceremony to it than
so
clicking something on a
yeah.
streaming service. So I kind of get where he's coming from.
I I I think I fundamentally disagree with that. I see what he's getting at of yeah, like, oh, if my movie is right next to some crappy film, then it maybe makes my film look worse. So I understand that. However, his films are so good they stand up above the like he should like I feel like that stance lacks confidence in its own work of just like, hey, I made something good. It doesn't matter what it's next to. I know what I made, and I know how good it is. And I know as a creator as well, we're always our own like worst enemies, right? Of just like, ah, oh,
Mhm.
man, I could have done this better, or I could have done that, or so it might be something like that, where he is maybe just deep down, he's insecure
I
about
don't
it,
know what it is.
but I
I
have
think
no
it's just
idea.
like an
Yeah,
old traditional thing. Like this, maybe the streaming isn't quite settled enough for him to believe. No, once like home video and DVD were, this is the new way of things. This is the way
yeah,
people get everything. But they said he really what it really seemed like he was never going to agree to this. So I am very intrigued what happened. I wonder
exactly.
if it is something to deal with. Tokyo is hosting the 2020 Olympics next year. Next year is the year 2020. This is how the math goes. And I wonder if it is something to do with we are going to bring these really important parts of Japanese culture. We're going to help bring them
Yeah,
to a wider audience and
I
just sort of put more of
wonder.
Japanese culture in people's minds this year we have the Olympics and just all eyes are on us.
I'm just speculating now that you mentioned that. I wonder if it's for. I mean, sure, the all of these contracts are most likely for a finite amount of time. But I'm wondering, yeah, if this is only for like the year of 2020 while the Olympics are happening in
Could
Tokyo.
be,
Here's
yeah.
a platform of just like, hey, we want to showcase some of your best stuff. Like, what are your cultural films? And and the work of
Yeah.
Miyazaki is one of those. And so maybe they
Mm,
hold him on, this is a temporary thing, it will be on there for
yeah.
this 1 year, and then that's it. Who knows? I'm just speculating there. But I thought it was interesting, not only because he's been very vocal about that and how he doesn't like anime, um, but how
Mhm.
it's HBO that got
I
them.
think that makes sense
To me,
because
that makes no sense.
HBO also has the licenses to Sesame Street. And I think
I
those
heard that,
are
and that's
kind
also
of
a
on a similar
recent thing too, right?
last handful of years, not super recent.
Because it's like
Like,
HBO does
it makes
not
sense to me because
scream
those are
children's content to me at all. Like
well, it
I don't.
doesn't, but what it does scream, well, it does not scream this. It's dignity. That's what it is.
HBO can scream
HBO
all it
is
wants.
high quality. It is dignity. It is
Sure,
cinema. It's like very professional things. It's high end. And
sure,
even if it doesn't say childlike whimsy, it says high end. It says we are dignified and serious,
that
and
makes
we
sense.
are, a very well-crafted product. And I think that's why it's a good match. And then
Yeah, that's a good point.
something as to have something as good, like capital G good for children as Sesame Street is on the same platform makes sense to me. Like my brother and his wife have HBO and they had it for Game of Thrones, which they like, but also like, oh, now our daughter can watch all of Sesame Street as much as she wants. We can go back to the episodes we watched when we were a kid. Then go back to the episodes my nephew watched when he was a kid.
Sure.
She will have all of this, and now she's gonna have all the Miyazaki library, which is, again, like I said earlier, very exciting because 'cause I've seen a great number of them, but, again, it's like, "Oh, I have to drive to the store, I have to get that DVD, I have to order that from somewhere." It'll just
Yeah.
be there for her, like, there's no excuse not to do it anymore.
True that. I thought that was strange. So Melissa, we have some news
Mhm.
here at the Whatnauts.
Yes.
We've kind of already announced it on our recent episode of the Reactor Core, which, by the way, you guys should go check out. We covered El Camino, but on that episode, we announced that we are launching a brand new podcast.
Mhm.
And I am excited to say that it is pretty much ready to go. We are recording our first official episode tomorrow, and it'll be
Mhm.
out the day after this episode goes live. This goes out on Monday, and Crossplay,
Oh,
which is our new show, will go out on Tuesdays. New episodes every
okay.
Tuesdays. This is going to be our video game podcast. So we're going to be talking about what we've been playing. We're going to be talking about the recent video game news and all of that stuff. And I'm super excited for this show. I've been
Mhm.
wanting to do this for a long time, and everything just kind of fell into place recently.
Yeah.
Um, I I because I've been doing this stuff here at the Whatnauts for a long time, and I was in the Twitch chat of one of the kind of funny streams. I think it was Games Daily or something, and I don't remember what the topic was exactly, but it was something that made me respond in the chat saying, man, I really should put myself out there more for like for going after like what I want to do with the Whatnauts and
Mhm.
stuff like that. And I had one or two people respond to that. One of them was Ignacio, who is going to be one of our co-hosts of that. If you guys are a kind of funny fan, I'm sure you've heard his name because they mentioned Ignacio Rojas quite a bit. And so I started talking with him, and then like 2 days after I started talking with him, I saw someone else in the kind of funny community mention that they wanted to start podcasting and stuff like that, and they are also someone that is very well known in the the community, and they're consistently like sending in corrections to be like, well, you guys actually got this thing wrong and stuff like that. That's something that they do on one of their
Okay, I'm glad there's solicited corrections.
right, yeah. Not just like, well, actually, you guys got this wrong. But yeah, and it was just like, hey, do you want to actually like do that? Do you actually want to start up a new podcast? Because I'm trying to start up one, and it would be you, me, and Ignacio Rojas, and maybe down the road someone else. Who knows? But yeah, we've been working on this for a month and a half or so now, in secret. But it is ready to go, and I am super excited. Let me actually double check here. I think. Is everything ready? I need to double check. Blah 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 blah.
I saw you were getting like your RSS feeds and everything.
Yeah, we've been doing that.
You're getting all that set up.
Apple Podcasts like submission feed is the worst. I hate it. What's our name?
How does it work? Because I've been meaning to ask you, do we have like reviews anywhere we ought to be reading?
I mean, if you guys want to rate and review us on iTunes and stuff like that, you guys absolutely can. Excuse me.
YouTube, Yelp, write a nice letter to our mothers.
I respond to YouTube comments from time to time, but we don't get much because we're still super small, so we don't have much of an audience.
We act big, though.
That's kind of like the fake it till you make it thing. I want to make it seem professional enough, so if some random person just stumbles on, be like, man, they're actually putting on a good show, you know?
Yeah, so for executives out there, please forget the part we just said earlier where our audience is in fact very small. It's, oh boys, it's sizable. The entire
on tens of billions of followers.
And we're raking in the cash. My nails are painted with diamonds.
This chair is made entirely out of cash. No. We
have enough money to send chocolate milk to the moon.
Yeah. Exactly. And strawberry milk, even though I don't like it. No, but yeah, so it's almost ready to go. The RSS feed should be up by time it should be up like tomorrow or the next day. But yeah, their submission thing, so you can go to, I think it's iTunes Connect is what you look up, and that's how you start your own once you have your RSS feed, you can get hosting from Libsyn or Simplecast or something like that. Once you have your hosting service, they will give you an RSS feed, and you take that feed and you basically submit it to iTunes Connect, and then there's an approval process. And there's the same thing for Google Play and Spotify. Those are the three like top tier things, and they kind of disseminate to everything else. But we're kind of cheating the system. We have hosting with Simplecast, but they only give us one RSS feed, and we're not using that one. We are using a third-party plugin on our WordPress website to take our Simplecast feed and split them up. So technically, we can have as many shows as we want for the price of one. So I am taking full advantage of that. But yeah, so I got everything ready to go on our website. I made all the posts and stuff like that, and I submitted it to iTunes, and it was like, yeah, not valid. And I was like, wait, what? That's not right. And so they were like, hey, you can go to these websites and check to see if your RSS feed is valid. And so I went to one of them, and it was like, yeah, timed out. It just couldn't reach wherever it was hoping to go. I go to the next one, and it just takes forever. There's like 8 sections, and they all have the like spinning gears and stuff like that. And then 1 or 2 things pop up, and it's like, yep, you have your own domain name. It's like, yeah, that's not telling us anything useful. And then like I sat there for like half an hour, and it was all just still spinning and spinning, and I was like, okay, that's not good. So I tried yet a third website to validate our feed, and it the first time was just like, yep, you're good to go. I was just like, okay, strange. So I went back to iTunes Connect, and it was like, nope, not valid. I was just like, what do you want? And of course, Apple makes it so infuriating to find support and just like, hey, help me. What do I do? How do I fix this? As much of a big Apple fan as I am, when something goes wrong, it's a nightmare, because they're most of the time they're just like, oh, you have to replace the whole thing, just buy a whole new computer or something.
Buy a new podcast.
Yeah, right. Just make a whole goddamn new podcast. And I finally found a random post online that was like, you can go to this website here, and then if you hit that button and scroll all the way down, you can find their support contact. So I filled out the form, and they emailed me back that night, because I was like, hey, I'm trying to validate my feed, and it keeps coming back with it cannot read the feed, and there is absolutely no instruction on how to fix this. What do I do? And they responded that next day with like, yep, we can't read your feed. Try these websites to see if you can validate your feed. And I was like, yeah, that's why I'm emailing you. I can't validate my feed. I said that in the first email that I sent you, and that's why I'm asking for help. And then on top of that, I was like, I've already used the 2 websites that you suggested, and they are giving me entirely different results. And yet there is a third site that I went to that says I am good to go. What is wrong? And then I was like, and on top of that, I have 3 other podcasts that I made the exact same way, and they're already on iTunes, and they are giving me the exact same feedback of just, we cannot connect. And I was like, that makes no sense, because we just updated those feeds, and the new episodes are on there. And they finally responded with, well, we can't help with that. That's with your hosting service. Just like, oh, you're useless. Absolutely useless. This is horrible that you cannot give me instruction on why your own platform is rejecting this RSS feed. 30 minutes after I get that response, it automatically works. I just hit the refresh button, and it was like, you are ready to submit. I was like, I didn't do anything. They didn't do anything. What? Like, I don't. It just magically decided to work that day. It was the worst, and I was just like, this is stupid. This is
Maybe
dumb.
somebody fixed whatever the problem was and wrote you an email, and it accidentally went to draft instead of sent. I think I've done that before at work.
But it was the same person that responded both times. Like, they wrote their name and stuff. Like I'm given a case number, and so it's like the same person helps you on that case. Um, and it was them. But yeah, there was no response of just like, oh, we looked at it. We've been down for server maintenance the past 2 days or something. It might be that. Or, hey, we looked at it and something is wrong with the site or with this. Or, hey, you just need to fix this. There was none of that. It was a we can't help. That was what their support said.
Oof.
So, fucking Apple, man. But that being said, yeah, our brand new podcast should be up there tonight or tomorrow. We record tomorrow. New episode will be out on Tuesday. So now, every week, the Whatnauts has a podcast coming out Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays.
It's so many.
That's amazing. I love it. One day we will have one come out on every single day of the week.
I'm so mad Wednesdays is already taken. I believe I've mentioned this to the audience before. I've been working on a Lost retrospective podcast.
Mm-hmm.
That show premiered on Wednesdays. I would love for that to be a Wednesday podcast, but it's already taken. I'm not going to make you put out 2 shows on Wednesday. I'll take Thursday.
We'll figure it out. But yeah, I'm super stoked about that. So shout out to Mick Abrahamson and Ignacio Rojas, who have joined the Whatnauts and are going to be helping us out on that podcast. And I'm hoping to get them on the Captain's Log here eventually. I know Mick is a big Disney fan, so you guys can talk about all of the Disney parks the rides and all the shows and stuff like that. He would know all of these shows. He would know who Fozzie Bear is, but not me. So it'll be good. It'll be fun. I'm excited. Stuff is already up on our website. If you are a $3 Patreon supporter, you have access to the first 3 test episodes that we did. We had did some kind of really rough, making sure all our mics worked, all our technology stuff was up to par. So they are real rough, but they are up there if you guys are interested in checking that stuff out, as well as all of our other Patreon exclusive stuff. I also put up a brand new members only section of the site. We are now starting to get enough like Patreon exclusive content. I'm just gonna make its own page. And so if you want to go look at what all of the Patreon only stuff is, you can go to the whatnauts.com/members, and all of that stuff will pop up there. So that is neat. I am excited. Good things are coming. I'm stoked.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's nice our little family's getting bigger.
Exactly. With that, though, Melissa, one more thing I have to ask you before we go, and then I was about to say, you're going to be gone most of the weekend. You're leaving on a trip. How was your birthday, though? You had a birthday this past week. Tell me about it.
I did. I'm 29 now, which is far too old. I feel like a crone. Speaking of Miyazaki, much like Towels Moving Castle, I am become old lady. No, my birthday was good. My friend and I went out to Outback Steakhouse and drove around to rich lake houses looking for good Halloween decorations. I had a pile of bloomin' onion petals. I had not splurged for the entire full onion. Maybe if we rake in the big bucks, like if I get that kind of sending chocolate milk to the moon kind of money.
Here's my chair made out of entirely cash. I'll just send that your way. It's pocket change anyways. The rest of the show. Yeah, if you're raking in the big bucks one day,
Yeah,
you
that's
guys can
good.
each have your own
Yeah.
bloomin' onion.
Woohoo. My niece picked out a birthday present for me all by herself. She's
That's
almost
nice.
3, so this is a big deal.
What'd she get you?
It's donut earrings.
Yeah, those are sweet.
They're very cute. I'm very delighted. And my older brother, he hands me this big heavy bag and he says, "I got you flowers." And I open it up and it is bags of flour.
That sounds like a brotherly thing to do.
He's right though. I
Yeah.
bake all the time. I do want and need good flowers.
Yeah, that is
Yeah, it was
true.
nice. We just went out to a nice Mexican restaurant and all ate a big pile of tacos together. We got a
Nice.
family picture taken for the first time in years. All of us together. It was good. It was very heartwarming.
Good. Did you splurge on anything and buy yourself a gift?
No, really, my only splurge is this trip this weekend. I'm going to
Okay.
go see my favorite podcast, which is Podcast The Ride. It is all about theme parks and Disney stuff. Not
Yep.
Disney exclusively, but a lot of Disney. So I'm going up to Chicago to see their live show.
Sounds good. Good stuff.
Mm.
Well, with that, the last bits of housekeeping that we need to do is mention go check out all of our podcasts and shows and stuff like that. You guys can find it on our website, thewhatnauts.com, or wherever you get your podcast. Just search the Whatnauts. If you guys like what we do, patreon.com/thewhatnauts is where you can throw us your pocket change.
Yeah.
You guys can get episodes
Aggressive.
early, right? Here, take it. You guys can
Keep the change, you filthy animal.
keep the change, you filthy animals. You can get episodes early for $1 a month. You guys can get exclusive content at the $3 tier, and at the $5 tier, we will give you a shout out here on the podcast. So thank you to Sam and Christine for helping us out on Patreon. We love all of our Patreon supporters, but a special thanks goes out to you guys. That being said, I mentioned we had a spoiler cast of El Camino on our Reactor Core podcast, so go check that out if you recently watched that film. And that was Mick Abrahamson's first official podcast with us. It was me and Mick on that one, so that was fun. Go check it out. But with that, that is episode 71 of the Whatnauts Captain's Log. Melissa, where can they find you on the internet?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Wilkywit. That's WILKYWIT.
I am at Yo Kyle Springer on Twitter and Instagram. We are at the Whatnauts on Twitter. And that is it. We will get out of here for next time. We will see you later on. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for checking out our show. We hope you enjoyed it. If you had to send a brand of milk to the moon, what brand of milk would you send? That's what you guys should write in the comments down below. And go subscribe to our channel right up there in that corner, and go watch one of our other podcasts, which is right down here in that one. We got a whole bunch more podcasts for you to check out. Yeah. Well, that, I guess we will see you next time. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.